Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our third installment of our ITSM Maturity Playbook webinar series. Today, we're going to be talking all about experience. That is our third pillar of ITSM. If you call back to the first two, if you joined us, or if you want to look back, the first one was about incidents. The second was about assets, and today we're talking all about experience. And that can mean the employee experience as a requester or the employee experience as the technician, as the ITSM team itself. We're not limiting what experience means today. And speaking of experience, ooh, that's a good segue. I'm happy with that one. We have a very experienced special guest with us today, Stephen Mann. I'm a big fan of Stephen's thought leadership in the ITSM space. Really love ITSM.tools. It's a really valuable resource with a lot of really good information on it. But I will let Stephen fully introduce himself as our guest for the day.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. I think you used the word experience then instead of old, but I'll take it. I'll take it as a win for now, at least. So thank you for the kind introduction. My short elevator pitch is that I normally write or talk about service management. If I really want to bore people, I give them a bit of history. So I used to have a real job. I used to work for Royal Mail here in the UK, responsible for service desk and then product management. Uh, I then went to be a consultant in Dublin, of all places, which was nice. Expensive, mind you, and this was back in 2008, I think it was.
Not
I
much has
then joined.
changed.
No, I think it was the pound to euro that was killing me. Went to Ovum as an analyst, industry analyst, Forrester as an industry analyst. I then joined the dark side, as we say. I joined a vendor for a while. Might have to cut that bit out. I then became an independent content creator in 2014 and have done that ever since. ITSM.tools was born late 2016, I think, from memory. It comes from an idea, well, two ideas really. The first is that we all ought to be giving back to IT service management, that people all around the world, they've got some of the answers that you as an individual struggling might need. So it's hopefully putting people in touch with people who might have the answer. And also, when I did work for a vendor, I realized how tricky it can be to get traction as a vendor, that you've got a lot of very clever people work for ITSM tool vendors, and they don't necessarily get the recognition and the traction that they deserve. So there's that as well. I told you I probably would go into too much detail with that. I should have kept with the elevator pitch.
No, that's perfect. I think everyone's really excited to get to know you, and it's great to hear your experience. You've seen ITSM from all angles, and that's really beneficial for us. And really appreciate you coming on. And I think it speaks a lot to talking about experience today. So love that. Can't wait to chat through more. We'll give everyone, well, I guess a quick introduction of myself. My name is Lauren O'Crew. I work in product marketing here at SolarWinds in the ITSM sphere. Hopefully, I have seen some of you on the call before, but really looking forward to sharing Stephen's wisdom and chatting all things ITSM today. So just a quick housekeeping. Um, there is, a Q&A in the top right of your screen. Feel free to pop in some questions. Our ITSM experts at SolarWinds will do our best to answer if you have any. There is also a button to request a demo. So if you want to chat with anyone in the SolarWinds team, feel free to click that button and we'll set up a call. We can talk about your own ITSM experience, workflows, things like that, or just ITSM in general. So with that, we will move into the topics for today. So we're going to start talking about where employee experience actually stands as of today. then we'll probably share some discussion around meeting employees where they are. We're device heavy these days. We've got a lot of different tools and connections, and that changes how employees work. We'll talk about making the front door smarter, and then we'll go into what's next for everyone on the call in their employee experience journey. Um, no more slides for a while,
Yeah.
just conversation. So, IT teams are investing more than in process and tooling than they ever have before. Um, but employee satisfaction in IT in a general sense hasn't really kept pace. We're going to talk about why that is. I think the first thing, let me ask you, Stephen, you've been watching the ITSM market for a long time now, based on your introduction. Where would you say experience actually sits as a priority right now for most organizations? Are they genuinely investing in it, or is it kind of a byproduct, something aspirational?
I really like that word you use there, aspirational, because I think for a lot of organizations, it is something they want to do. It might even be something that they think they do. But the issue comes where the proverbial rubber hits the road, where they're actually doing anything or doing the right things. And I'm reminded of the fact that it shows where my mind was back in 2013. I was talking about customer experience for employees. So I wasn't smart enough to think of employee experience. And it wasn't until around about 2015 where we really started to be talking about it more. And in terms of where organizations are, for me, a lot depends on the focus and the ability to execute. I guess that sounds familiar for a lot of what we do. So some organizations are doing it, some are struggling, some are planning to do it, some are willing to do it. You've got a real spectrum. And for me, it ultimately comes down to, if we take it from an IT service desk or IT support perspective, it's IT's reason for being. And for me, we need to dig into that cultural side of things before we look at any of the metrics or the technologies that can be employed. So for instance, there's been so much talk about XLAs for the last, let's say, 5 years, might be slightly longer. For me, we even struggle with that because when I was originally talking about XLAs in 2015-ish, it was an experience level agreement. It was similar to a service level agreement. It was a document. It outlined all of the roles and responsibilities that people had, obviously with a different focus, and we can come on to that in a minute. Now people talk about XLAs like they talk about SLAs these days, and it's the experience level target, not the experience level agreement. We seem to have taken that three-letter acronym and used it in a different way from its original intention. I'm not saying that that's bad, but for me, if I'm coming in and I'm fresh to all this, I'm going to find it really confusing. And for me, that's some of the issue, that there can be a lot of, I don't know whether misdirection is the right word, but people can look at XLAs and think, yeah, I'm just going to add two XLAs to my existing 362 SLAs and we're going to be okay. And are we just going to add the targets, or are we going to create these documents that sit on the shelf and nobody ever looks at, similar to our service level agreements? And so I think it is difficult for people to actually try to address experience management, because it's not like incident management, say. I don't know if that's an example, but you can pick up guidance on incident management, whether it be via ITIL or somewhere on the internet, or even somebody that you work with, and you can sort of logically think, yeah, we can do that. We understand why we should be doing that, and you can run with it. Experience management, it's not mature enough yet, I don't think, to be able to do that. I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing it.